It better be ready.
Born ready.
You're
Jason.
live. I am refreshing everything because we haven't done this. There it is. Is that it? No thanks. I don't want to try YouTube Premium.
Love you, YouTube, just not that much.
Can everyone hear me? Cool. I'm up here
You
as
pick it
well.
up.
Yeah. I just gotta. It's a long time since we've done this, so I have
That
to.
has.
I have to get ready for it. But here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to what I called on Instagram the other day. This is season 3 of
Yeah, I
of,
put down the same thing.
of Slam's Fist Fact. We're not going to count any of our other. We're counting the other episodes. This is season 3, episode 1, because I do not know how many episodes we have now. So I'm starting at 1. And gosh darn it, Rick and I are not stopping this
Oh,
time. We had a crazy, I would say, 2 months of life that has happened. And we're here, and we're refreshed. We created a new logo. We have not a new format, but a nice chiseled format for you. And we're not going to let any of y'all down anymore. We're going to post every single day.
yeah.
But
Well, man, it feels good to be back, though.
it,
It was a really long break. A lot of crazy work and life things that happened in the last 2 months. Feels good to get back swing at things. This is definitely something we're not giving up on. Sometimes there are pauses because stuff happens, and we're not making millions of dollars yet, tube. So some things still happen,
yeah, we
but
don't
we are
want.
coming at you. Go ahead.
I said, yeah, we had a break. We had a long talk. We had a good discussion. I think it was last weekend when we talked about this, how we want to revamp it. We want to do it right. We want to do right by y'all. I know one of our longtime listeners, Tino, he gives me crap all the time about not recording, and he keeps asking me I feel like every other day he goes, when y'all recording again? When y'all recording again? And here we are. So, Tino, we're recording now. Damn it. So, whether you're listening to this live now or later, we're here. But anyway, Rick, how's your day?
Going well, man. It's been a smooth day. Had some fun time at work today. Not nothing too brutal, and then a pretty peaceful evening. What have you been up to today?
Dude, I was in Raleigh this morning. I left my house about 8:45. I got home actually around 8:45 p.m. I was going for a good solid 12 hours today. Um, had We celebrated my nephew's 6th birthday and my mother-in-law's birthday at the same time today. Had some nice cake, some good ice cream, opened up some gifts.
Ooh, what kind of icing was on the cake?
I don't know. Mother-in-law
Buttercream or whipped?
mother-in-law made the entire cake, so she made homemade icing.
Okay.
Made the whole cake. It was a double layer, vanilla layer, chocolate layer, icing in the middle, a bunch of Super Mario themed icing stuff on the top.
Wow.
Um, it was great. Had a good time. A lot of little kids there. Um, on the ride home, my feelings about wanting to have children have changed after today. They'll probably go back to normal in a couple days, but as of right now at 10:07 p.m., kids are not in the fortune for Amy and I right now. Um,
But
but
that's the nice part of being an uncle and an aunt is that you can experience those kids and you can come home to a quiet house.
100%. Like, I only have my cats to come home to, and I am 100% okay with that. But I will say, I loved seeing the family, loved spending time with them. One thing sucked about it, and I'll give you one guess to tell me what it was.
One thing sucked
One thing
about.
sucked about the entire day, and it wasn't the drive. Are you froze?
No,
Huh?
I said the heat.
Oh, I didn't hear you because you froze. Because talking about your
Oh,
audio issues, it was great. Um, the heat, yes, kind of halfway. There, my in-laws AC went out in their house a couple days ago, so we were all sitting in the living room with a window unit, trying not to die of heat stroke. It was hot, 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 hot. Other than that, wonderful day. But anyway, let's get this podcast rolling with arguably the best and most favorite section of the entire day, brought to you by our wonderful friend Kelly McGillicuddy / Mac, who is actually visiting here this week. Is what are you drinking, Richard?
got me a nice cold cola. Sponsored by Big Cola.
Hashtag pay us. Anyway, I have a Mick Ultra in a Slam's Fist Fact koozie. Old logo. New peep the new logo under me, by the way. Um, but it's like lukewarmish because it was in the closet and I put it in there. So I figured I was gonna drink. I have 4 beers over here that I will finish by the time this podcast is over, and so I'm drinking the 2 lukewarm ones first because I don't want them to get really warm, and I got the cold one sitting at the end for me.
Nice, nice. That's another nice fun thing for all of our fans that did participate in that. Was it fantasy
Dude, it was the
football?
NCAA thing that was literally in March and April.
NCAA tournament.
One, the lady took forever to get me these things. 2, all of your I know all of your addresses, so I will be sending them out. I finally have them. I know we apologized for this last time, but we got them. We have struggled the past 2 months. We're not struggling anymore. I will repeat that.
Now you'll be the proud owner not only of a Slams Fist Fact koozie, it'll be the retro logo
It'll
because
be
you guys
yes.
have been with us for
When
a long time,
when
and we
you
appreciate you.
when you sell it on eBay, you can say vintage Slam Swiss Fact logo for when it goes high. But that was great. Uh, vintage. But I even have a T-shirt that's got this old logo on it. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
But going into what I would turn this entire podcast into if I had oodles of time is this week in history, because I absolutely enjoy history. And I want to know, what is your oldest fact? That's who's going to go first. What year?
1821.
Sweet. I will go first. I have a fact from 1305, baby.
Woo!
I am going way back. So, I am doing this. It is a couple days ahead. It is in August, but it's this week because we're going to either record every week or every other week. We're not sure yet, everybody. So, I went ahead and did one for kind of like in the middle of next week. August 5th, 1305. Mel Gibson's doppelganger, William Wallace, was captured near Glasgow, Scotland, and transported to London for trial and eventually his good old execution. He did all that, and Scotland is still not free.
They had a vote.
They did.
Okay, they had a
They
choice.
did. They did. Think of
They had a
how
vote.
different that would be. It was
no
it was
joke.
pre-Brexit. I know that.
Yes.
They voted pre-Brexit, but think they vote to leave the UK. And then the UK leaves the EU, but Scotland's a part of the EU. That's right there. It changes the political thing.
Economic climate would be hugely different. But they chose to stay.
And it's a weird thing because, like, when we went to Northern Ireland and we were talking to our Game of Thrones tour guide, because Northern Ireland's its own country, but it's also part of the UK at the same time, is he loves being Irish, super glad to be Irish, but because he's part of the UK and Ireland, homie can have an Irish passport and a UK passport. So I would assume, can Scotland have Scottish passports? And do Welsh people have
They
Welsh
should.
passports? Is there a Scottish passport, or is it just because Ireland is a little bit different? You know what I'm saying?
Has to still have its own, I feel like. Because they are still technically their own country.
2 days ago, actually, Hamza Yousaf, which is the first minister, that is Scotland, because there's a prime minister. First ministers are like little ministers over each of the thing. Is new Scottish government set out paper of proposals for a passport
Hmm.
for new Scots. Yeah,
Interesting. So they don't have one currently,
they
is what you're
do.
saying?
They
Do.
I don't know. I'm looking it up right now. Does Scotland have a passport? In
World
Scotland,
needs.
passports, it says, were issued by the Scottish Crown. I didn't know there was a Scottish Crown anymore either. You know what? I'm just gonna go with maybe. They might, but that is one. It's very messed up in a way that it's like whatever. It's a monarchy, constitutional, prime ministers, all that stuff. But like countries independently on some things, but also in like a little thing at the same time. Don't like it. Not a fan. Free Scotland. Hashtag William Wallace 1305. R.I.P. Your turn.
After all that, we settle with a maybe.
Scotland might.
They might. In 1821, this week in history, Peru declares its independence from Spain. Took them a few years to fully gain their whole independence, but they declared their independence in 1821. In a perspective, Peru was named, that region was named Peru by Spanish settlers in 1529. And so Spanish influence was there for 250 years or so, 60
Yeah.
years, something around there.
Dude,
And
go ahead, continue.
oh, wait, no, I'm a dummy and can't do math. That's almost 300 years. Sorry.
Well, I mean, 250 is almost 300.
No, Pep.
It's peepaw to you, but
For you all, because we haven't had a podcast since either last week or the week before, we were in some type of debate, and I slam fist and facted that Brandon was over 50 that day.
and now everybody needs to refer to me as peepaw.
Nah, he is people.
Peepaw. I will say though, it's down to with the Peru and the Spaniards and stuff. I'm going Spain or Belgium. Most underrated conquest countries in the olden days.
Dude, my dark horse for most underrated conquest
Sure.
is Portugal.
Oh yes, I didn't even
Portugal's
think
so
about them.
small. And so is Belgium. But Portugal's so small and completely locked by Spain that Brazil and a couple other settlements.
Brazil's national language is still Portuguese. Like,
I mean, you talk about that underdog in that fight. Look, Portugal's got that dog in them. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, Spain had Florida, Peru, clearly. They had a lot of Central America as well. But, like, I agree. Belgium, for some reason, did a lot of Africa. You know, Belgium's in the Congo. It's part of the we didn't start the fire thing. And I agree. Portugal's navy was out there.
Yeah. It had to be because they couldn't go anywhere on land.
They couldn't go inside because Spain would fuck them up. Oh.
But, yeah. What's your next fact?
Um, Today, actually, in 1921, Hitler came to power as the leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party. So, not the Nazi Party quite yet, but the first steps into everything becoming fascism and Nazism. He actually, in 13 years, in 2 days from now, so I got a double fact with one fact, he
Call
combined
that a
the prime
factoid.
minister. He combined the prime minister position and the other position and became Führer, and that's when the Nazi Party took off. There was the Nazi Party before that, but that's clearly when he was like, "Here I am, what's up?" If none of you know, I am fascinated with World War II. I love it immensely, all history. But when you turn to the ripe age of 50, you have to choose either knowing how to
Plus,
barbecue in cars or some weird time in history. And I chose that weird time in history of the World War II era. I love it. I've read Mein Kampf twice. I think it is a fantastic book to get into the mind of said fascist person. And then I've also read a giant thick book that I cannot remember the name of for me right now, but it was amazing. Amy got it for me. It was only written like 20 years after World War II.
hmm.
um
You were there when it got published.
yes. I can't remember what it's called, but it's so good. It's about the entire life of Hitler, and it's like 2,000 pages. It is a big book, but I loved
Wow.
it. Read every bit of it. Amazing book to throw into everything that happened, and it throws a little context into maybe into the mind of why Hitler was as insane and crazy and all that other stuff
Remembering.
as he was. Exactly. And also, my "We Didn't Start the Fire" reference. On a super side note, did you hear Fallout Boy's new version of "We Didn't Start the Fire"?
I have not.
Dude, 10 out of 10 song.
Oh
10,
man.
10, I'm calling it now. Everybody listen to it. 10 out of 10 song. So, whatever years Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire" stopped as the most current event, that's where Fallout Boy took over, and they've done it until 2023. Fantastic, bro. It's so
I feel
good.
like Joel's had to stop in the late '60s, early '70s.
No, because there was Watergate and stuff. Well, that's the late seven or mid 70s. Because he said
Twenty
stuff about Reagan
'70s.
as well. It stopped in like the mid 80s. Because there
Yes,
was stuff
because the
about
wall.
Reagan and the wall
About the wall.
and all
Yup,
that
yup, yup.
stuff
Okay.
down. Just super side note, listen
I
to
have to
it.
listen to that, man. That's crazy. I did not
I
know they released that.
I love it. I didn't either. I don't even think they advertised it. So, Billy Joel's history. "We Didn't Start the Fire" came out in 1989, so he probably wrote it in '88. So right around late '80s is when that history
Yeah.
kind of
Wow.
stoppages. It's good.
That's pretty
All
crazy.
right, sir, your last one.
Two.
Ooh,
Thank you very much. But funny enough, so you said today in 1921,
sure.
Hitler became leader of the party.
Yeah.
Almost to the day, a couple days off, 7 years before that, 1914, Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia, officially starting World War One.
Underrated. Talked about war though.
It does get a little overshadowed by its big brother, that is World War Two.
World War One's fascinating.
It
It's
is
it's it's more
so,
fascinating to me than World War Two, but I just like World War Two better.
yeah.
Like
There's
is
a
a
lot to
very interesting word. I like to learn about.
intriguing. Yeah.
They're intriguing. I don't condone war at all. But no.
There's a lot to unpack with both of them. You can very easily do a deep dive on it. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
if anybody wants to listen to about a 26-hour long podcast, I have one about World War One. Just shoot us an email at slamsfistfact@gmail.com. It's actually scrolling across the top of this screen right now as you see it. You went the wrong way. There you
Just reverse the footage.
Yeah.
And then to wrap that
hit
up.
us up. I'll give you that. It's called Blueprint for Armageddon by Dan Carlin. Fantastic. I try to get Rick to listen to it. Actually, like I think yesterday I was talking about it to him.
We did bring it up. Yep.
Because I am listening to his World War II podcast about Imperial Japan at the moment, which is just as good. And I will, on this podcast, always shout out other podcasts because they're fun to listen to. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well that's interesting.
My last one for this week in history is in 1958. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration established. So in 58, we got NASA, baby.
And only 9 years later, we went to the moon. 11 years. 11 years. Had to do math. Math's tough for me, you guys. 11 years later, we go to the moon. Before we founded NASA, or at the beginning, NASA was, well, technically before NASA, they were searching the sea. And then they said, screw that, let's go to space.
Because in 57, Russia launched Sputnik.
Mm-hmm. And they also probably found the giant sea monster Cthulhu that they're not ready to tell us about yet. just like the Pentagon thinks the damn alien life shit came out this week. Aliens are real, everyone. The Pentagon has said so. And some guy under testimony and released pictures of UFOs.
That's the thing. Remember in 2020 or 2021, I think it was late 2020, the Pentagon unclassified actual pictures of UFOs. Because I remember Joe Rogan talked about how crazy of a year everyone was having in 2020 that we didn't even focus on it. It just got released and no one's even talking about it because of all this other stuff going on.
I want alien contact so bad. I'm ready for it.
They're on their way. They're coming to your house.
That's bring it.
You might want to tidy up a little bit.
It's pretty clean. We weren't here all day. I have one more fact that I don't want to talk about long because I am sticking with Europe. All three of my facts were European facts today. Yesterday in 2005, the IRA finally ended their 30-year-long campaign in Northern Ireland. Now, 2005 sounds very recent for the IRA to like, holy shit, it was still happening in the early 2000s. You have to know they were around that long, but there was a signed ceasefire in 97. So there were way less violent things happening after 97, but they were still technically an entity until 2005. And it's very prominent going to Northern Ireland that you can still see, I wouldn't say the IRA's impact, but you can definitely still tell that there are some little hints of the IRA still around because it was a bad time, but like not necessarily like, oh, there's no bombings or killings still going on, but there are definitely people that are definitely way more pro. There's still a lot of Protestant and Catholic stuff going on in Northern Ireland, which is very interesting. And fun fact, our tour guide that day also said, don't be a selfish American and order an Irish car bomb in Northern Ireland. You'd be an idiot. They call it the Irish Slammer. And in other words, just don't order one and just drink a regular Guinness like a regular person. But it is that fact. But that's my last fact. Little sad fact, but I love me some Irish history as well. So here we go. But on to our wonderful next section. Rick, I got another top 10 for you. You don't get to choose out of the 4 this time because I feel like this one's way easier than the 4. Right now in season 2 of Slam Sis Fact, which is now over, Rick went 0-2. So I'm going to start keeping a Rick. I'm going to start keeping a Rick record sheet right now of Rick's top 10 guesses, and we'll alternate every week. So Rick will think of a top 10 next week. This is instead of our draft that I get to do, and we will keep a record, and we'll say at the end of the year. So our first podcast in January, we'll tally up the results, and what are we going to bet? Let's
Oh,
talk about that right now.
oh,
I say we each throw out an idea, then we put a poll up on Instagram and let the people decide.
I agree. I think that's the best way to do it. Do you have one in mind?
Not at all.
Let's see. Let's see. What is a good, wholesome, real penalty for the loser here?
Or just a bet. It doesn't have to be a penalty.
Oh, then I bet I win.
All right, well, I bet I win. So anyway,
This is the most boring poll we'll have ever posted.
Who's going to win, Brandon or Rick?
I don't know. I think
I'll throw it out here. Are you ready?
yeah.
Because this is long term and we can save up for it. If you win, I will buy you a Philadelphia Eagles jersey.
I think it's more fun if the loser buy a hat of the winner's favorite sports team and wear it for the podcast for like 2 months. So if I lost, I have to buy like a freaking Colts hat or some crap like that.
Or you buy, this would be worse, more embarrassing. You wear a Dallas Cowboys hat, and I will wear a Manchester City hat for like 2 months.
Deal.
All right.
I don't even need a poll for this.
Yeah, we're not even doing the poll. Rick wins. He wears a Dallas Cow. He has to buy it because he already sucked and lost, and I'll do the same for me if I lose. So in one year's time, loser buys the hat, their rival's hat, and wear it for, I say, not even 2 months. I say the next 10 podcasts.
Okay.
That's longer than 2 months.
Yeah.
Right.
Ideally, right? Ideally.
Be really, or ideally not. We're having a shit ton of podcasts by then, and
or we if we end up going to the bi-weekly schedule, we've talked, we're not sure yet, but even if we do bi-weekly, I think the 10 podcasts is a solid metric because something comes up and that way it's still content.
Yeah.
But brutal bet.
Okay, I will say I have to. I think that depending and starting, they have to be depending on how easy I bring it this week. You kind of got to gauge it off of that. So if you just bring it super difficult, I'm saying stuff can't be super difficult. You know what I'm saying?
They have to be things that we could realistically
reasonable.
get.
Yes, reasonable guesses because it's top 10, so it's 10 guesses, 3 strikes and you're out. Just like normal. Mm-hmm. I am doing the top 10 most followed Instagram accounts.
Oh man.
Now, I will give a disclaimer.
I'm not a social media guru.
Yeah, but there's famous people. You know them. I will say there are 3 brands in the top 10 that I took out. So like Instagram's the number one. These are people. Like Instagram was the number 1 most followed account. I took that away. Nike was there in the top 10. I took that away. These are actual living people, hopefully. They are all alive.
Double checks list.
Yeah, I was like,
ooh, man. Only 3 strikes. This is a tough one, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think it's super easy.
Let me go ahead. I'm decently aware that Ronaldo is one of the top Instagram accounts.
Ronaldo is the number 1 most followed human on Instagram with 597 million followers. And I bet you that's higher right now than when I looked 45 minutes ago. Let's see. Because I follow the GOAT. He's at 598 now. He's gained 1 million followers this hour.
What's amazing is that that's like in social media numbers, you're like, oh wow, yeah, that is a lot. Put it in real people numbers, that's like 120% of the U.S. population.
Yeah, because we're at like 370 something or 350 something.
No, I think we just capped over 4 million in the U.S., I believe.
Maybe. I'm not sure. 331.9 million.
That's a lie.
That was our last census.
That's out of date.
Clearly. All right.
Children have been born
So,
since then, Brandon.
Hey, yeah, people have also not been born. They've been the opposite. Your turn.
Okay.
Your turn. Go again.
Yeah.
Good guess.
Kim Kardashian.
Kim K is in the top 10 at number 7 with 363 million followers.
Give me sweat there for a second, man.
I love this.
This is tough on me. It's not that I don't use social media, but I'm not incredibly active.
This is your most active social media, though.
Huh?
I think you're the most active on Instagram. You send more messages to us on Instagram than you tag us in on Facebook.
For context for all listeners, I send funny videos. So when people, I'm going off on a side rant here. Sorry, I know we're in the middle of a game. People talk about their algorithm, like showing them things and being controversial or this or that. My social media, they know my algorithm for interaction, funny content. So I only smile and laugh when I get on social media because everything is tailored to hilarious videos.
Same. I cry a little bit because for some reason Soldiers Homecomings are on mine right now, and those hit heavy. But yeah.
So okay, now to the game.
So you have Ronaldo at 1, Kim K at 7. Not a lot of famous people in my mind that are in between Ronaldo and Kim Kardashian.
Who are these people? Messi
is number 2 with 481 million people.
That's awesome. They're 1 and 2. That's crazy.
It's amazing.
LeBron James
is not in the top 10.
Ooh. Yikes.
That is strike 1. Do you want to know where LeBron James is, or is that going to hurt your feelings?
Please enlighten me.
He is 26th on the list of most followed people on Instagram.
That's pretty wild. Okay.
Well, you got to think he's American that plays basketball.
Yeah, the second or third most popular sport in the world, and he's at the top of the list on almost everything.
True. That is strike 1, my guy.
Oh man, this is brutal. Do I get any hints? Any like power icons at the bottom here, like phone a friend, 50/50s?
There are more women than men on this list.
Okay, I'm taking a stab. Oprah.
Oprah is not in the top 10.
Well, she ought to be.
Well, damn it. Dude, Oprah might not even have an Instagram.
That's what I'm worried about, is I probably just said that. She might not even have an account.
I'm scrolling. I don't think she's in the top 50.
I think I should get a redo if she doesn't have an account.
I'm looking. She does have an account. She only has 22.7 million followers. The top 50, the 50th person has 78.8 million.
Brutal. Man, I am on a string here.
You got 3 in a row and then plummeted.
Oh, God.
For everybody out there that's just listening to this, the struggle on Rick's face right now is amazing.
Like I'm sitting here torn. Like, do I try and go for another top soccer player in the world? Like, I feel like I have
To
to.
tell you, to give you one more hint, I would not.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Oh, Lord, 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 Lord.
Because the next top soccer player is Neymar, and he was like 19th.
That was my next guess. Dang it. That's who if I was gonna go one more soccer player, I was gonna go Neymar.
Oh, I
Okay.
know exactly what you were doing, and that's why I was like, I wouldn't. That's 2 hints. I'm feeling
Oh,
generous tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
more ladies than fellas, huh?
So you've gotten 3 right. Right out of the other 7, there are 2 men and 5 women.
I got a couple like circulating, and I'm like, but if I whiff on one, that's it. So, okay. Kylie Jenner.
Kylie Jenner is number 4 on the list. 397 million followers. So you have to think, there is somebody more popular than Kylie Jenner, but less popular than Lionel Messi. Good luck. There's also 5 less people less popular than Kylie Jenner on this list. I will say, do you want another hint? Because I love,
Yeah, I'd love another hint.
Okay.
I feel like for every right guess I get, I should get a hint.
The rest of these people are all American. And
That
one
rules one person out of my brain that I was thinking about.
And one of them's from Canada.
That helps because there's someone that was tweedling in the back of my brain. I was hoping. Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan motherfucking Reynolds, dude. The Canadian sweetheart. Mr. Deadpool himself. The co-owner of Wrexham is not in the top 10.
Why would you put me through that emotional roller coaster that way?
I knew that the Canada would throw you off.
So he sabotaged everyone that's listening and watching. You saw him perfectly sabotage me.
I gave you a normal hint.
He sabotaged me on purpose. So when I come at him with heat, top 10 next podcast,
I will give you one more guess.
No complaints.
I will give you one more guess. You can have 4 strikes this round. Since Canada threw you off so big.
Because I was sitting here playing in the back of my brain like Ryan Reynolds is incredibly popular, in the movies.
He's a Canadian.
And then the Wrexham thing, and then I was already thinking that. Then you said one's a Canadian, and I'm like, it's gotta be him. Who in Canada, is more popular than him?
Ryan Reynolds is the 51st most popular person on Instagram, 49.4 million. So Ryan Reynolds isn't even the most popular Canadian.
Yeah, I don't believe that. That's false. Whoever this other person is bought followers. I don't know.
I don't know about that, bro.
Before that, I could have argued that Alex Trebek was, but he's no longer with us. So, and I don't know if he was an Instagrammer.
I'm gonna go with no. All right, you can have another strike. I'm feeling generous today.
You said 5 are American?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Americans and a Canadian left on this list. And out of those, 1, 2, 3, 4 are women and 2 are men. I can give you one more hint. They are all in some sort of like entertainment industry. You have no sports people or political figures left.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to say Oh, are they movies, singers, TV show people, whatever? But they are in entertainment.
Swift.
Great fucking guess, dude. Taylor
I think like
Swift,
entertainment.
dude. I mean, look at her tour. Did you see that her tour in Seattle caused a bigger seismic activity than the Beastquake run did? Yeah, it's
I did
crazy.
not see that.
So Taylor
I saw that
Swift,
I saw that her tour was gonna net like an estimated $1 billion.
try 5.
File.
So Taylor Swift with 269 million followers is the 15th most followed Instagram account on
Are you serious?
social media. Yes, sir, I am.
You Swifties out there suck. You've let me down.
So, so Rick is
Get Amy in there right now, and I'm telling her that she let me down.
I will create a shared Excel spreadsheet with this. We'll keep record and then how many total out of 10 we got right each week. So number 3 with 426 million followers is Selena Gomez. Has the 3rd most followed Instagram account in the world. Number 4, Kylie Jenner. Number 5 with 388 million people. I just have one question, Rick, is can you smell it? Because it is Dwayne The Rock Johnson at number 5. 377 million followers at number 6 is Ariana Grande. Then Kim K, like we said. 315 million followers. Number 8, one of my top 5 least favorite people in the world, Beyonce, is number 8.
If Taylor Swift was right, I was following it up with Queen Bee.
Yeah. Number 9, I did not write how many followers she has, but it is in between 293 because that's what 10th place has, and 315 because that's what 8th place has, is Khloe Kardashian for some reason.
I almost went with another
Kardashian. There are one Jenner and 2 Kardashians in here. And then number 10, the man from Canada himself, Justin motherfucking Bieber, dude.
It's definitely not more popular, boo.
There is another Canadian more popular than Ryan Reynolds.
Jim Carrey?
Drake.
Celine Dion? Oh, Drake, yeah.
That's who I thought you were going to guess when I said Canada. I'm sorry, Rick. That was way tougher on you than I thought. When I Googled top 10 Instagram accounts, I looked at it and I was like, fuck, Rick is going to get this in like 11 guesses. And look at you just disappointing your co-host on this podcast. Like, I was ready for you to go 1-0. I was cheering for you, honestly.
Next pot. Just so you know, this gauntlet has been laid down, and I will adequately test you back.
This was nothing.
Yeah, whatever. I can tell you right now. Let's see. Out of those top 10, right?
Out of those top 10, I follow 3 of those accounts. And it's Ronaldo, Messi, and the motherfucking Rock.
Here, go down the list real quick again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Ronaldo, Messi, Gomez, Kylie, The Rock, Grande, Kim K, Beyonce, Khloe K, Bieber.
I follow 3 of them as well.
Is it the same 3?
Yes. I think so.
I might follow the Biebs. I'm actually going to look now.
Wait. I just lied to you. I actually bet if I pull up my phone, I follow Selena Gomez.
I probably do. I'm pulling it up.
I'm gonna lie.
I do not follow Selena Gomez.
I do. I will check right now. Because I do love Selena Gomez. She's awesome.
Do I follow Kylie Jenner? I do not follow Kylie Jenner. I'm 0 for 2 on this. Do I follow The Rock? I know I follow The Rock. Oh, dude. Yes. It's because I lied. I'm looking on the Slam Swiss Fact Instagram. Let me get to my personal one real quick.
You're a dirty liar.
I do not follow Selena Gomez still. I do not follow Kylie Jenner.
I do not.
I do follow The Rock.
I follow The Rock, Messi, Ronaldo, and that's it.
Ariana Grande. I do not Oh, this is bad. I'm pretty sure I might follow Kim Kardashian for. I don't. Um. Do I follow the Queen Bee, my arch nemesis? I don't.
I hope you do. I hope you put up the page and it said following.
I do, for some odd reason, follow Khloe Kardashian.
Very goofball.
And then, do I follow J Beebs? I probably do. I don't follow Justin Bieber. So I follow 3 of them, or I follow 4.
Like when I was younger and he became really popular, it was like his music was too
Baby, baby,
yeah,
baby.
exactly.
Oh,
Too like
and now we're too old.
boy bandy after teenage girl type music for me, and then he became a Tool, and I don't care
And now
for
he's
him.
like all the.
No, I don't. No,
That's exactly what it does. Moving on to what I said for the other 3. The best section of the night, even though I've said that for everyone because I love doing this.
They're all the best sections.
Sports, sir. I have a fairly good amount of sports to talk about. Some go into a lot of it is soccer because it's happening. The season starts in 2 weeks. So there's a lot
You
of
guys
prep.
just lost another friendly, right?
Did we lose? Yes, we did. Our U21 team lost to Wrexham's starting 11. Makes sense.
Hey, whatever you say, man. Hey, whatever you wanna.
Actually, I lied. Our U21 team and one like 38-year-old lost to Wrexham.
While puncturing a lung.
Dude, that was bad. So I watched the game. Clearly, I wanted to see what our academy players were going up, see if any of them had a chance to make first team, which I think one does, but like
The
not
UFC.
not eventually. I'm saying like I think one can be on first team like this year, if that makes sense. But yeah, dude, they do a through ball over our back line. Paul Mullen goes for it. Our goalie's going for it. Our goalie's going to punch it, but then our goalie realizes that he's like a yard out of the box. So he pulls back his arms because he can't hit it with his hands anymore because he's out of the giant box. And Paul Mullen's right there, and like our guy's shoulder and head kind of hits Mullen in the rib area, and he laid down and punctured. He's going to be out for a couple weeks, which sucks because Paul Mullen scored 47 goals for Wrexham last year.
Huge.
He is their best player. If you haven't watched Welcome to Wrexham, watch it because it's a great story. But yeah, it's a huge loss to him. They still have Ollie Palmer, which is great. He's a good player. He's a lot slower than Paul Mullen is, which sucks. I know Wrexham were thinking about going and buying a striker, and now this injury from this 21-year-old kid kind of forced Wrexham's hand. But the coach was very mad, called it unsportsmanlike, told the kid to, we better not see him out in the locker room. Then Ryan Reynolds came out and was like, nah, it's, it happens. This is what happens in friendlies. But hey, shit happens. It was a mistake by a goalie who should have known better.
Yeah.
Injuries happen in preseason. That's why I don't like preseason.
It's a mistake, and I don't wish any ill will on this kid. It is just unfortunate. I don't think he did it maliciously, intentively.
Oh, no, he went straight for that ball. Watching it, I don't think he even saw. I don't think he thought Mullen was as close as he was because he went to punch. He was looking up to punch, and then he was like, oh, shit, I'm out of the box. So he pulled his hands down, and I guess he kind of went to head it and just kind of Mullen's ribs were right. It was rough.
What else you got though
For soccer?
football? Yeah.
For good old football. Some huge transfers in the market.
Oh yeah.
2 of the biggest ones. One is from Premier League team to Premier League team. Is Declan Rice left West Ham United, who I thoroughly enjoy. West Ham is probably my second favorite team in London. I'll throw that out there. Left West Ham and went to Arsenal for a stupid amount, like 175 something $million, 150 million. I liked Declan Rice before 3 weeks ago. After that, whatever. You're just going to Arsenal. Arsenal literally had, honestly, a hand and three-fourths on the Premier League title last year and lost it to my bitter rival of Manchester City. Well, current rival. Liverpool's still my least favorite rival. Um, but yeah, I mean, good for
Don't
him.
worry, you'll have a Man City hat on soon.
He, not after these guesses that you just did. Um, he's not going to win anything in Arsenal. It's that simple. If you want to win in the Premier League right now and looking forward, Arsenal's got a great team. They really do. But if they botched the Premier League last year with their team, they're botching it this year too. There's some people out there that still don't think Arsenal's going to finish top 4. I think they will. But Liverpool had a fluke of a season last year and finishing like 7th. That's not going to happen again. Liverpool will not finish that low. But anyway, he signed Jude Bellingham, the 19-year-old phenom from Borussia Dortmund in Germany. Jude Bellingham is an English player. Went to Real Madrid for $88 million. A 19-year-old kid. He is a stud. He is a star. It is literally Real Madrid is taking Toni Kroos and Luka Modric and going, you were the best midfield we've ever had, ever in the history of time. Thank you for winning us 5 Champions Leagues. You're old. This is probably your last season. So here is a brand new, a bunch of 18-year-olds who are going to be just as fucking good as you. And we're just going to put them in there. They are nasty. They are mean. And we only lost to them 2-0 in a friendly. And I feel like that shows a lot to our squad of only losing to them 2-0. But he signed for $88 million. I couldn't even write this many down. There are tons of players moving to the Saudi League right now for ungodly amounts of money. But besides like a select like 2 or 3, I think they are a lot of their old players on the outs. I think, in my opinion, I think the MLS is moving up in tier of caliber, and the Saudi League is going to become that retirement league that the people said that the MLS was. But for the Shield, we have signed 3 players that I'm super happy about. We signed Mason Mount from Chelsea, so fuck you, Tommy. He is going to be playing midfield for us. He's great. He's young. I am not fully convinced on him because he did not have a good season with Chelsea last year, but I don't think anybody had a good season with Chelsea last year. They finished 12th. They went through like 3 different coaching changes. It's hard to be productive when you're going through that many higher up changes in one time.
You, as an organization, you really can't succeed. I mean, we see it in other sports too. If you have head coaching changes and you have administrative or front office changes, affects everything all the way down.
Right. So I'm excited for that. Almost bought a Mason Mount jersey, but I went with my boy Garnacho, who I thoroughly enjoy and who is going to be a first-team player for a long time. We let go of David De Gea, longtime goalie, our last player from the Sir Alex Ferguson era, which is huge. He was the last player that we have on our team to win a Premier League title for Man U. And he left, which sucks, but we signed Onana. And Onana, what's his name, baby? He is amazing. He is going to do well. He is going to play the ball. And you can't tell me that Rihanna song is not going to be a football chant in Old Trafford next year.
I hate you for that.
Onana, what's his name, baby? He's awesome, but he is, for how Eric Ten Hag wants our team to play and press and push, he likes to play a little bit up on the ball. He'll move out and pass and work the back line with the back line, which is something that in De Gea's later years he hasn't done. Now, all the respect for De Gea. I love David De Gea. I think he is a fantastic striker. He has the most caps ever played for us as as a goalkeeper. He has the most clean sheets as a goalkeeper. He is amazing and phenomenal, and he kept us in the top tier of the league because of how great he is. So I hope he does well. I love him to death. Thank you for everything you've done at Manchester United, but I am excited for this new era of ball that we are playing. And last but not least, we signed a guy for $60 million today. His last name is Hodgland. I think his first name is Rasmus Hodgland from Atalanta. That is Atalanta, not Atlanta.
From Atlantis?
Yeah, it's close. He's a striker. We needed a striker. We got a striker. It's going to be it is going to be interesting. His name is Rasmus Hodgland. It's going to be interesting because he is Danish. He is from Denmark. So, in the Manchester Derby next year as strikers, it is going to be Holland, who is Norwegian, and Hodgland, who is Denmarkian. I don't know if that's what you say, but that's what they're going by right now, playing against each other. But I think it's a good signing. I'm excited. He's been a Man U fan since he was a little kid. That's what we need. Any more soccer? Boom, 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 boom. The Women's World Cup's on. Go ahead.
Has the Mbappe deal been finalized?
He rejected to speak to them. Kylian Mbappe got offered $1 billion to play in a Saudi league for 1 year. It would have gone $700 million to him, $300 million to PSG. PSG has to choose to sell him, and there also has to be confirmation on his party that he wants to go there. Not wants to go there, but is willing to go to that place. Kind of, it's weird that he denied to even speak to them. He's going to get sold, but I don't know who it's for. The coach of all signs lead to Real Madrid, which is the right choice in my eyes. He either needs to go to Real or go to a Premier League team. Like, you have to go to another top 5 league. You can't go play in the Saudi league when you're 23 years old and one of the top 3 best players in the world. He's either got to go play in La Liga.
What does he go to? What if he goes to BA? Is
that's what he's in now? League A? Serie
Which
A?
one is...
He's in League 1. Are you talking about Serie A in Italy?
Yes.
That's fine. That's one of the top 5. Technically,
That's what I'm saying. What do you think? What if he would go?
Well, he wouldn't go to Juventus because Juventus just got told that they're not allowed to play European competition this year. He could go to Napoli. Napoli would be sick to watch that man play in Napoli. AC Milan would be really good. I don't think he goes to Inter. I think he goes to AC Milan if he would go there. But League 1, the French league that he plays in, is technically not considered a top 5 league right now. It's the Premier League, the Bundesliga, La Liga, Serie A, and then the Netherlands league, whatever it's called. He's going to end up not playing this season or some crap, or they're going to sell him to Real Madrid. But Real Madrid's coach came out and said, yeah, we're good over here. And 100%, they are. But one thing that did happen that good old Tino just sent me, Arda Güler, who signed Real Madrid, just suffered a meniscus injury today in practice. And he was going to be one of their main dudes. So maybe the coach changes his mind. It's okay, though. Their coach leaves after this year, and he's going to coach Brazil. So anyway, last 2 things for soccer. Women's World Cup's going on. Got to give some respect to my ladies out there. USA plays Portugal on Tuesday, like Monday night, Tuesday. It's 3 a.m. Tuesday morning. We need to win. We have 4 points. Netherlands has 4 points. Portugal has 3. The other team in this has 0. But if Portugal wins and the Netherlands play the other team, I think it might be Jamaica, I'm not sure. We're not going to get out of the group stage. We have to beat Portugal.
Yeah.
Or at least tie. We could technically tie Portugal. But we need to beat them and win the cup. Or not win the cup. Win the group. And then also, I always give a lot of respect to my ladies and my boys overseas in the UK because I love English football. Carol Walsh, the lady that helped win the Euros for England this year, is probably going to miss the rest of the World Cup, which sucks. They think she tore her ACL. Their scans came back negative, but she really messed up her knee. So that sucks. That's all my soccer rant. This is just know in the next upcoming months until football starts, this is going to be a soccer podcast, everyone. Just get ready for it. What do you have, Richard?
For sports, funny enough that you just said until football starts. I have a couple things, but it's a little light because it is the off season for football right now
Yep.
and basketball for me. uh, Joe Burrow goes down with like a little freak calf injury at practice.
Yeah. Did you see what all the Cincinnati Bengals fans were doing? They were sending emails to the Cincinnati, whatever you can contact, right? Saying, hey, you can cut my calf out and use it on, tape it on Joe Burrows if you want. To where the Bengals Twitter came out and goes, it's just an injury. He'll be back before the season. Stop telling us we can have your calves. Fun fact of the day. Great, dude.
I mean, he and the recent changes in that administration have really turned that football team around, and there are some diehards out there.
There's always been diehard Cincinnati fans because you got to think they've had good enough quarterbacks to be considered dangerous in the playoffs, but like because they've to like not dangerous in the playoffs, but like to make the playoffs. They've been good enough to always make the playoffs because they had Carson Palmer and then they had Andy Dalton. So like when Andy Dalton was there
enough to get there
in his prime, Andy Dalton got there, but Carson Palmer was good to get them there, right? And now they have definitely the best of the three with Joe Burrow by far. There's a lot of promise. Like
a good receiving core.
Joe Mixon played well last year. Like they got it. They in my mind they're still not my favorite to win the AFC. It's clearly in my mind. I hope it's the Bills. I don't want to see Kansas City, but clearly Kansas City is going to be the favorite again.
Yeah, and I agree there. But I think, assuming everything is under control and that he comes back before the season, he's totally healthy and everything, because it was kind of a very freak accident. It didn't look like...
Yeah, it was like he ran across... He was rolling out and he kind of just like... It looked. I mean, he clearly like pulled it or whatever, but...
Yeah, he may have hyperextended some, but it didn't look like an ACL tear.
It was a non-contact injury, which was huge, which is huge.
He did get carted off, but I still think, he comes back full healthy and everything before the season. Favorite to win that division.
Oh, easy.
I don't see the Ravens, even with the OBJ signing and everything. I don't see the Ravens challenging them for it. I definitely don't think Pittsburgh's in a situation right now to challenge them for it.
And
I don't care what any delusional Browns fans think. They're not in a position to challenge them for it right now.
Unless Deshaun Watson just comes out and plays like he was season 1 Deshaun Watson, but that's it. And you're still
you have to play like he was Clemson.
You're still going to lose 10 games.
Like he was Clemson Deshaun Watson, and I still don't think.
Don't remember that Deshaun Watson, but anyway.
Selective memory you got there, people.
I know, dude. I know.
But no, yeah. So I'm hopeful that he's okay. But what this really is a big factor in, I want to believe it's not going to be a factor in how they play this season. Is interesting. Probably still low on the factor list, but his contract negotiation with all these quarterbacks in the same class getting paid. What does it look like for him? Because, was it Justin Herbert at the like $260 million?
Yeah,
It was Herbert because he just got paid just a little bit more than Lamar.
Justin Herbert.
I think it was him. Could be someone else though.
5-year.
Yes.
262.5.
262. Yep. So they gave him just a little more than
half of it guaranteed. 133 guaranteed. 193 guaranteed if there were like injuries. It's crazy.
So yeah, I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
I think he is a good, strong, young quarterback in the league. I definitely think Joe Burrow is valuable and a better quarterback. So
I think he's like the third best quarterback in the league.
Definitely arguable.
I think
Definitely arguable top three.
I think Mahomes is a clear number one.
He has to be on everyone's list,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you're just delusional
Yeah.
if you don't think so.
Mahomes is a clear number one, and then I would probably put two as Josh Allen, even though he can show that he can't win against the Chiefs in the AFC playoffs. And then I think it's Joe Burrow and Jalen. I think it's Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts after that.
Yeah.
I think those four are your top four, and you can put them. You can put Allen, Hurts, Burrow, however you want, but you cannot put Patty Mahomes lower than one.
You can't. I think that you have. Yeah. I think that there's a big question after last season in my brain of Josh Allen being consistent and being able to win.
This is Josh Allen's year to prove it, or the Bills might have to go a different way.
Prove it or lose it, dude.
Yeah. Bills might have to go a different way if this, and plus, like, if he does well and doesn't prove it, you have hella trade value with somebody.
Oh yeah.
But
well, I say that we were just talking with someone else about Lamar Jackson situation, and part of the value that was the big contention of what kind of contract he was going to get is stop and think about it. How many teams need a quarterback? And it was a different situation with Lamar Jackson because also you have the whole risk of a dual threat and blah, 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 that whole discrepancy and stereotyping. But there's not a lot of teams that are in dire straits for a quarterback. You absolutely still have trade value if Josh Allen were to ever hit the trade block. But there's not a lot of teams willing to like mortgage the house on a quarterback right now because there's a decent market.
I think there were a lot of teams that would mortgage a quarterback for Josh Allen.
Mortgage, but like a supermax?
Yeah.
I disagree.
Houston Texans right now would give up everything for him.
No, they wouldn't. They just wasted not wasted. They just used the number one overall pick.
Yeah, that's great. And then
were they one or two?
They were
Houston
one.
was one. Yeah. I don't think they. No, you don't. You don't go and offer a supermax after you use the number one pick.
I think even though we drafted Anthony Richardson at 4, I think we would do a supermax for Josh Allen. Easy.
I agree. You should.
Easy. Yeah.
But that's not the number one pick.
100%. Well, I don't think C.J. Stroud's going to do that great.
No one's going to do that great in Houston. First of all. No.
That's why. That's why.
Yeah.
But I think like the Raiders have what, Garoppolo? I'd rather have Garoppolo than, or I'm sorry, I'd rather have Allen than Garoppolo. I'd trade that in a heartbeat. If I'm the Redskins, the Commanders, Jesus, it's going to be a tough one, team. It's just going to be a tough one to get over. I mean, who's your starter? Sam Howell? Shout out to Union County boy, where I'm from. But, like, yeah, sure. Saints, they have Derek Carr, so I'm probably not doing that. Who else? Falcons, they have Desmond Ridder. Sure. Titans, Tannehill's getting old. Might be Tannehill's last year. Do I want to see Josh Allen come into our division if he's not a Colt? No. So Tennessee doesn't need him. Dude.
No, so Tennessee doesn't need him.
Yeah. Clearly, New England needs him. Mac Jones ain't it, but that's not happening at all. The Bears?
No. You know who I personally think, because of a big personal bias, and I'm very aware of it?
Sure.
Vikings. Just get Kirk Cousins out of the league, dude.
Kirk Cousins. I was talking to our good buddy Gabe, who's been on the podcast before yesterday, actually. Kirk Cousins is the prime example of an amazing quarterback of how to be mediocre. So Kirk Cousins, if he teaches you, hey, I can show you how to go 9-9 and make the playoffs and then choke 100% and look good while I do it.
I can show you how to never win on Monday night.
But after watching that quarterback show on Netflix, which I highly recommend for everyone out there, I see Kirk Cousins in a new light, and it makes me like the guy. I like the guy. I've always liked Kirk Cousins. He's got heart, dude. I like Kirk Cousins. Tampa needs a quarterback. Tampa needs actually everything, but Tampa needs a quarterback, so that's one. And that's about. I mean, Pittsburgh. If I'm Kenny Pickett, I'm giving Kenny Pickett to the Bills immediately.
They're never the the Steelers are just not the organization to overpay any skill position. It's just that not in their blood.
That's true.
Um, yeah, man. I mean, even still, so we named what, like 4 or 5 teams to go after a top 4 quarterback?
I just named like 7 to 10.
Oh, it was not. You definitely didn't name 10
Okay,
teams.
and then also, if I'm Seattle, I'm getting rid of Geno Smith and I'm getting Josh
No,
Allen.
you're not, dude. You're crazy. It's a system offense. Why would you blow the bank on a quarterback like that when you can get the successful season they just had with Geno Smith of all people?
Yeah, but I mean, Geno
You are
Smith.
not getting rid of Geno after the year he just had.
No, not after the year he had, but he's old. He's 32.
And he just had this season.
Season could be a fluke.
It's
Like
the
if I
system.
am
Pete Carroll
Seattle,
is such a great system
he
system
is.
coach.
He is, and we still beat him at USC with a non-system quarterback who is in the top 20 of most fewest yards ever by a starting quarterback, or some
I don't
shit
even
like
know the chain of things that you just said.
I watched a thing. I'll find it after the podcast and I'll talk
He's
about
going senile, folks. This is why he's people.
Vince Young kicked their ass. Screw you, Matt Leinart. Even though I love all of your commentary that you do for college football right now.
Okay, moving down the list of the off-season football stuff. Jonathan Taylor just requested a trade.
He did. Yay
tonight.
Colts. Yay Colts about 40 minutes before we started the podcast. Jim Irsay just came out about 20 minutes ago. I just saw on Instagram and said we are not putting Jonathan Taylor up for trade now or either in October. So it's going to be really weird to see what happens in August or September. So dude, it hurts my heart. Jonathan Taylor, one, his trade value is high but low at the same time because he is a great running back. Had a great year 2 years ago. Had a really bad year last year.
Really bad year.
But if I'm any team that thinks, damn, Jonathan Taylor's up for trade. Damn, this guy's my starting running back. I'm trading for Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, I think there's way more teams that would go after Jonathan Taylor.
There are, let's see, there are 32 teams in the NFL?
32?
There are 26 teams that would trade for Jonathan Taylor probably in a heartbeat. I mean, I would rather name who does it. So if you are Cleveland, you don't trade for him. You don't trade for him if you're Tennessee. You don't trade for Eagles. You don't trade for him if you're the Chargers because you have Austin Eckler. You don't do... This one's tough for me, but I'm going to put it in there because I love this guy. But if I'm them, I'm trading for Jonathan, is Dallas. Because I'd love to see what Tony Pollard's about to do. But I'd still think I'd rather have Jonathan Taylor. But I'd try to keep Tony Pollard because Tony Pollard runs great in a tandem running back duo. But I love Tony Pollard as a starter, bro.
I think that's a weird one, especially when you still have Zeke in the picture. Weird scenario flow there. I'm not gonna say you don't if you're Dallas. I'm saying that's still a possibility.
Zeke's not in the picture. Zeke's a free agent. Tony Pollard's the starter in Dallas.
I know, but there's definitely a big part of me that says even as a free agent, it's not that Zeke's not in the picture.
Yeah, but
I think if you're San Francisco, at Taylor.
Oh yeah.
I'm going with the sure teams that like don't need him. They would not really be interested in a trade unless it was like heavily skewed in their favor. So San Fran, I think, is a lock.
The entire. Oh, I was about to say lock that doesn't need him. Fuck. After that, I don't know.
Those are where? Oh No. Minnesota.
He's leaving. Cook wants to
Is it?
leave. Cook requested a trade. He wants to
He
play
can
with the
request. So did Jonathan Taylor.
yeah. But you'd rather trade him than have him sit out and lose his value.
Arguably true. Arguably.
Yeah. But I will say,
He's-
like, the entire NFC South needs him. You can't, in all honesty, and I live in North Carolina, I could not name you one starting running back in the NFC South right now.
If you wouldn't have just put me on. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Neither can I. Oh, yes, I can. Freaking the Saints, Alvin Kamara.
He's suspended. He's not starting at the beginning of the year.
He's still their starting running.
Other than that, no idea. Panthers
Other
running
than that,
back.
no.
Oh, well, no, I don't. Is it Chuba Hubbard? Is that the Panthers starter after they traded CMC?
Yes.
Chuba Hubbard, baby. Oh
Oh,
God.
it's funny. Okay, my brain, when you said that, I instantly went to, I know who the Miami Dolphins running back is. What's his name? And then I was like, that's not the NFC South.
That is the AFC East.
Jeez. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
the Panthers. Oh, that's a wide receiver. Oh, the Panthers just got Miles Sanders this year. But before that, their starter was Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot about
Continue.
that. Yep.
Jonathan Taylor, Colt for life now.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, there's only a few teams that would not take him. That was our whole point.
Yeah.
And then I want from you 4 way too early playoff picks. Now, who are your locks? Who's making the playoffs? And then who are 2 teams you think are not locks, but you think they're making the playoffs?
All right, let me look at just the NFL in general. Just let me look at the
Across the board, absolutely.
Yeah.
NFC, AFC. Who are the 2 locks? You're like, they're going to the playoffs.
locks. I'll do one of each. Kansas City. I'll do one AFC, one NFC. I think they're a lock, and Philly's a lock.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I did
Heartbeat.
this whole thing. Fans, I did this whole thing so that he could praise the Eagles. That was it.
I don't. Rick has never once hated on the Colts. I don't hate on the Eagles. I like the Eagles. I have no problem with them.
I'm with the Colts.
Teams that I think are going to that are iffy, but I think they're going to make the playoffs. I'm going to lock, just like I did last year and got disappointed, the Miami motherfucking Dolphins. They're making the playoffs, dude.
The Jets. It's the Jets from the AFC East, baby.
I'm not saying that Miami is winning the AFC East. I'm just saying they are making the playoffs.
Well, there's 2 losses right there to the Jets.
Remember, there are 3 wild card teams now.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That's
There are
a
3
big
wild
part of
card
this
teams.
thing.
And my other lock, and this is going to be really weird, that I think could win the NFC North. Not just make the playoffs. I was talking to this. I'm torn between 2 of the teams. I think the Detroit Lions could do it.
I don't hate the Lions pick.
Detroit Lions, I think they make the playoffs, but I think they win the NFC North. My uncle just texted me. Goes, the Dallas fucking Cowboys. Brandon, I hate to tell you, but there is no way they beat the Eagles this year.
Not for the division.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say, look, I won't say we won't trade games in the regular season because, like last year, we played each other twice in the regular season, like always. Both times, team didn't even have a starting quarterback. So, freak stuff happens, but we take the division.
And also, you can totally use the chat on YouTube, man. I know you're probably watching on your TV. I know you're probably watching it on your TV, and it's easier to text me, but I get that. Those are my two locks for sure. NFC, AFC, Philly, Kansas City. I think that Detroit comes out
I love the Detroit pick, honestly.
stronger than they did last year, and I think they win the NFC North. Gabe loved that pick as well. We were talking about this the other day, but he thinks that the Packers could fight for it. Yeah, I told him he was abnormally wrong. Brandon
So
goes, "This is why we play the games. Whatever that means, I don't know. But I don't even know who we is in this situation. I'm assuming Brandon's suiting up for the Cowboys this year."
please do go ahead.
Well, dude, I told you when we went and watched the Dallas Cowboys Colts game in Arlington last year, there was a dude in our section in full pads and uniform, ready to play. He was ready for Jerry to be like, "Hey, section 536, you come down here and we we need you at defensive end because DeMarcus Ware ain't it anymore." Holy shit! What
So
else?
I love it. I would have picked the same two locks.
Yeah,
I think they're some of the only safe. Like if you're gonna say these teams,
yeah. I
um,
think I will say I think another safe team to choose still is the Bills.
yeah.
I think they're a safe team, but with how good Miami may become, and with how good the Jets can potentially be with adding Aaron Rodgers, have a hot take from our buddy Gabe with Aaron Rodgers that last year wasn't a fluke, and last year started the decline of Aaron Rodgers. And I said that cannot happen yet because I need Aaron Rodgers to play for 4 more years, because I need him to play with the Jets for 2, and then I need him to go to Minnesota. I need him to follow completely in Brett Favre's footsteps.
He's not gonna do that. But
He will not.
I personally am for the Jets doing well this year. So my long shot, but still fully believe are gonna make the playoffs are the Jets. Great defense. Great defense. Have some offensive weapons, and now you add a Hall of Fame quarterback. Um, I gotta go with Jets there. And then the other one that I feel like is still not a lock, but I think the Chargers make it, dude.
No.
No? Why not?
All right. Kansas City,
Hmm.
division. Say Bills win division. Okay.
Okay.
Cincinnati, and then probably Jacksonville. The three playoffs teams are probably going to be Baltimore, New York, and fucking Miami. Or Baltimore, New York, Pittsburgh.
No chance
Look,
that
dude,
Cincy,
that's true.
Pittsburgh, and Baltimore all
They
no.
could. That'd be kind of cool. I just want to throw it out there.
The NFC East did do that, so we're clear. But
I just want to throw it out there to the San Diego Chargers. I'm speaking directly to you. I need y'all to decide whether you are a good team or a bad team. I can't
it would be helpful.
I can't have this. You know what? I'm going to start 7-0 and then finish 7-10. I don't need that shit. I need we're going to go 13-6 or 13-3, 13-6. Jesus Christ. 13-3 is not even a thing. 13-4, or we're going to go 4-13. I don't need none of this. Give me a lot of hope and then shoot me down at the last minute. I don't need.
Dallas does it every year.
But
Looking at you, Bickle.
but I will say, with Dallas, and I'm trying to say good things. That way I get a good Christmas present this year from my aunt and uncle. Uh, with Dallas, we know that they're going to be good and then just lose in the playoffs. We know that. I'm talking about, we don't know if the Chargers are going to go 16-0 or 1-16, or
No,
even if
because
they're going to make the playoffs. We have no idea.
no, because they'll blow out a top team in the league by 24 points, and the next week
And then lose to
the
Arizona.
bottom. Yeah.
All I want to say is you have had one for sure, maybe another one arguably, Hall of Fame quarterbacks for the past 20 years. a Hall of Fame tight end, arguably a top 5 greatest running back of all time, and you barely make the playoffs, bro. Decide what, and one of the greatest defensive players to ever play in Junior Seau. You've had Antonio Gates, LaDainian Tomlinson. Technically, you had Eli Manning for like 25 minutes. Phillip Rivers,
like 25.
Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees. You have Austin Eckler now. You've had,
hey man, they're out of San Diego, dude.
You've had these good wide receivers. How do you suck? That's question of the day. Anybody that's listening from San Diego / technically LA now, more or less San Diego, why do you suck? Why do the Chargers suck? Email it. It's right here. slamsfistfact@gmail.com.
You got anything else? That's my last sports thing.
Shout out to Brian Harmon for winning the British Open a couple weeks ago. A wonderful showing. Main sponsor lives here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Shout out to Megacore. Awesome. Great guy. Great to see only the third left-hander ever win the British Open. Behind Phil Mickelson and some guy from like the early 1900s. Last text in the comments before we leave: do not sleep on the Carolina Panthers.
Oh my
Quarterback God. 1 has been a winner everywhere he's been, and you're damn right, Brandon Pickle, because that quarterback 1 is somebody that nobody gives a fuck about. Because I think the Panthers finished second in the division, behind Atlanta.
Ooh.
Just to throw Gabe mad. Tampa Bay's last. Tampa Bay wins 3 games all year. Probably 2 of them are against Carolina. I will say, I do want to see Bryce Young do well. I do want to see Anthony Richardson do well. I would like to see C.J. Stroud do well if he didn't play in the same division as Anthony Richardson. It's that simple. But, no, that's all I have. Everybody, we had a longer episode today. We had to talk a little bit about why we haven't posted and how we're going to go posting going forward. We'll let you know via Instagram if it's every week, every other week. It just depends. If you have it, this is a great time, actually. Right up here above me, email us for any ideas or questions about the podcast at slamsfistfact.com. The next scrolly says follow us on Twitter. Same thing, at slamsfistfact. We also have a wonderful Instagram where most of you follow us at slamsfistfact. Please, thank you. I'm Brandon. It was a wonderful day. That man over there on my right, technically his left, that's Rick. We had a wonderful time. And lastly, but not least, just remember, those ideas you have, they have to be good, and they have to be something else, because Dalton said they can't be either or. Can't remember what it is.
They have to be fun and interesting.
They have to be fun and interesting. They cannot be one or the other. They can't be interesting and they can't be fun. They have to be fun and interesting. Other than that, everybody have a great day, and we will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.